Well, good evening everyone, and happy Monday. It is actually Monday evening as I'm filming this, just an hour or so before it's actually going to go out for you guys to view. Some little bits of news to run through, some important things to run through as well, and also some worrying things that we will go through this evening. If you are new to the channel, please do make sure you hit the subscribe button. There is loads of Tenerife content on there for you, including more of these news updates, live streams, things like that. And if you do enjoy the update and you did find it useful, do hit the thumbs up after the video is done. We're going to start where we always do, which is a COVID update, and I'm afraid it's not the greatest update for COVID. We have seen another increase, 461 new cases over the weekend in the Canaries, not great. This includes 235 the day before, so we are now seeing a big increase in the active cases. They are now above 2,500. The incidence rates increase to 73.26 over 7 days, and over the 14 days 126.38. So we have seen a little bit of an increase there. Of the new cases, 102 are in Gran Canaria, 85 here in Tenerife, 7 in La Palma, Lanzarote's got 19, and Fuerteventura with 13. So not so good with these COVID rates, and I'm going to go into a bit more detail with that shortly, and the effect that it could possibly have. Overall active cases on all the islands, 2,504. Tenerife now has 1,119 active cases, Gran Canaria 975, Fuerteventura 223, Lanzarote 139, La Palma 35, La Gomera 14, and El Hierro 2. So really not so good with these rates. They are creeping up. It's not a huge jump, but it's a steady increase. That is the problem, and there's not really any signs to show of it coming down again. And that does lead to this article here. The Canary Islands face a key couple of weeks in controlling the virus for December. Many of you are booked to come here in December. It's going to be a busy time, a busy month. You've got Christmas and everything coming up as well, which is going to cause an increase again. So we really do need to try and rein in these numbers over the next couple of weeks. It's going to be very important. I do see us moving into some higher levels as well. Unfortunately, that's my opinion. More than 100,000 people in the Canary Islands have been infected with COVID over the last 20 months. 97,000 have recovered from the virus, and 1,031 people have lost their lives. The health authorities are warning that we must now not lower our guard before the arrival of tourists and the Christmas festivities, as cases and test rates and incidence rates are all increasing at a rapid rate. Vaccinations around 86% of the target population over 12 years old, and 87% with at least one dose. Coverage in the age group between 20 and 39 continues to be a big concern, as only 74% of people in that range are vaccinated. So some worrying signs coming from all these figures. We are, I think, going to move up into level 2 next week, in my opinion. I think that is coming. A lot of people just letting down their guards. I'm seeing bars, restaurants, people not quite, adhering to the social distancing rules, keeping the masks on when they should. I think we're just letting our guard down a little bit, and a little bit too early. We're heading into the winter, which is when everyone catches the flu and things anyway. People are going to be more in the bars, more in the restaurants, again, Christmas parties. It's a bit of a concern, I must say. That's not me really digging at the bars and restaurants. There is other issues, but that does seem to be where I can see people letting down their guard, where I can see people not quite doing what they should do. Remember, if you're coming over from the UK, it is a bit of a free-for-all in the UK, but it's not free-for-all here. We do have rules in place. The minute you cross that border, you agree to keep within Spain's rules and the Canary Island rules, and they do still have the distancing, they do still have the masks indoors, so you've got to stick with it. Otherwise, you're going to have to stay at home. I think too many people are coming over and just not adhering to our rules here in Spain, and just letting their guard down way too soon. We've seen Germany go backwards, we've seen Austria, we've seen the Netherlands very easily go back into these lockdowns and these restrictions, and we really do not want it. We've done so well to get to this point, it would be really disappointing for us to go backwards. The government have had a bit of criticism. They've responded and said, well, all these people that are unvaccinated, very, very selfish, they need to start thinking of others. They've also now gone ahead and approved a certificate that is now required for domestic flights from mainland Spain. So if you're travelling in, vice versa, mainland to here, you do need to have these COVID certificates now. So they're putting a little bit more pressure on people to get the vaccine and hopefully keep these flights, you know, these domestic ones that are running daily, a little bit safer. The pandemic has not gone away, and subsequently governments across mainland Europe are starting to implement more restrictions to combat it. In Spain and the Canaries are no different. Although the scenario has changed notably thanks to the success of the vaccination campaigns, there are still many people who refuse to get inoculated, and restrictions are aimed at combating a sixth wave of COVID among those groups. So guys, we really do have to try and be careful here. I can see us potentially going backwards, and what a shame it would be. I do think we need to try and shore it up a little bit. I've seen some worrying signs from people out and about, and I don't know. At the moment, personally, I'm just not getting a very good vibe at all. I really do not want to go backwards, which is why I'm quite passionate about it. I've been here when it was dead, it was a ghost town. I do not want to go back to it at all. Everyone is doing so well, and with just a little bit more respect, a little bit more implementation, we can stay on the same level. Now that ties in, I did title the video very similarly to this. This was an article in the Express. You know, it is the Express. Take it with a heavy pinch of salt. Britons to face new COVID restrictions in Tenerife that could ruin Christmas holidays. Tenerife is planning to bring in tough new COVID restrictions ahead of Christmas after a rise in cases. The tourism bosses have said it could ruin holidays. British tourists with holidays booked on the island for Christmas are likely to be subject to new restrictions. The Canary Island government has said it has to bring in these restrictions to prevent a new COVID wave. So I think they're running with this story. They've looked at what's going on over here and sort of run this story. There's not really much information in it. It doesn't really give us any idea of what these new restrictions are that they're even talking about. There is potential for sort of stricter rules when you check into the hotels, but nothing's been announced. They are, you know, they're running with it. It's a click line headline, you know what I mean? It's a bit of clickbait. British tourists with holidays booked on the island are subject to new restrictions. What are the new restrictions? We don't even know. This is due to the high number of tourists expected to visit the island for winter sun for Christmas break. Of course, always is busy. Hotels are said to be nearly fully booked as travellers look to get away for the Christmas holidays, and that's all it says. It's just a little bit of clickbait. That a few people have sent me it, like, what are the new restrictions, what is going to happen? We don't really know. I think if we do head into sort of level 3, level 4, then there is a potential for negative tests need to be shown maybe when it comes in, but that's just speculation. Hopefully it doesn't come to that. I think maybe the hotels might require maybe a negative test to check in, or might be a little bit stricter in seeing your vaccination certificates. No one knows. A little bit of a clickbait headline, that one, I must say. So do take that with a bit of a pinch of salt. But worrying signs, a little bit of concern, to be honest. But let's hope we can try and get the rates down, especially with what else I'm seeing in Europe, Germany, Netherlands, etc. It's worrying because we could easily go back to that. We really could. Moving on to some news across on La Palma. The eruption in La Palma is now raised to level 3 magnitude. That is not because of the size of the eruptions. That is due to the emissions that are coming out from the volcano. Very strong emissions, very strong ash clouds. There is a storm forecast over there today as well, which is going to bring some rain. That is hugely worrying for them. As I mentioned in the last update, a lot of people, they're shoveling off the volcanic ash that has landed on the roofs of their homes. Now, if it does rain and that gets wet, that is even more weight. There is a lot more potential for things to cave in, for buildings to collapse, etc. So, big worry. There is quite a few storm clouds around, although you wouldn't see it from over here. Looking inland, there is quite a few. So let's hope the rain stays away from La Palma. You'd think it would maybe do a bit of good, maybe dampen the ash cloud and things. Opposite effect. It is a big worry over there. And hopefully they do stay safe. The rain that is forecast to make an appearance in La Palma today are worrying the authorities, especially because it is not ruled out that they will arrive in the form of a storm, which means very fast, very heavy downpours. Their main concern is the ash that has accumulated on the roofs of buildings will become instantly much heavier and can cause collapse. So let's hope everyone over there stays safe. Remember, in the link in the description of this video are the links for you to donate directly to those charities. You've got an animal one and you've got the main government help over there. You can donate directly. A few people have asked, can I donate via your YouTube? Personally, I don't recommend that because they're only going to get about 50% of what you would send, so do send it over direct to them. Remember, YouTube take a percentage, and it is also taxable as well, so it is far better for you guys. It takes a couple of extra minutes just to send a PayPal or to send a direct bank transfer over to them. I know a lot of you have, and thank you very much for that. I'm sure they really do appreciate the help. Thankfully, still only one death that is potentially related to it. That was the elderly man that was found in his home that they think has fallen off from trying to shovel the ash from the roof of the buildings over there. Overall, that is most of the news covered. It is very busy over here. The restaurants are all still full. The bars are all still full. Again, I make sure I say it every video, make sure you book in advance whatever you're doing. If you want to do an excursion, if you want a specific restaurant, book it in advance is my biggest recommendation. And my other big recommendation is, please do follow the rules, maintain your distance, keep doing your hand sanitizer, and wear your mask indoors. Be careful in all the bars. It can get a little bit rowdy sometimes. Everyone's having fun, which is great, but we've got to get a grip of these cases, because potentially, I mean, if we're going to level 3, 4 again, it's going to ruin a lot of people's holidays. It's not going to be as fun, so keep it fun for everyone. Respect the rules is all I can say, and let's try and rein in the numbers. Everyone has a part to play in it. Take your hand sanitizer out with you as well. A little bit disappointing, I have noticed when I've gone to use a few of the hand sanitizers in a few of these places, they're empty. A little bit disappointing with that. Got to stay on top of all of this. I know some countries are doing it differently. The UK, as I said, a little bit more of a free-for-all, but here that is not the case, and you do have to play by the rules over here if you're coming over. That's just how it is, I'm afraid. Thank you all very much for watching. Don't be too concerned, but we do have to keep an eye on the numbers, as I've said. Would I start cancelling holidays and things? Completely not. I do think we're going to have a great winter. It's a stark warning. And it is something to keep an eye on. The winter is going to bring a lot more cases, so let's all be careful. Go and get your boosters as well. If you've been called for them, go and get them. If I was able to, I'd go and get mine right now, but we're not up to that stage yet. But if you have been called, go and get it done. They have now been added to the NHS COVID pass as well now. So if you've got your COVID pass and you've got your booster, make sure you update it, or if you're going to go for it, it will appear on your NHS COVID certificate pass now as well, so make sure you go and get that done. For now, that is it from me. Hopefully the next video will be a bit more fun. This was a bit more of a serious news update because it does need to be serious, I think. That's all my opinions. I know a lot of you have got different opinions on it all. That's all my point of view. That's how I see the articles as well. A little bit of clickbait, a little bit of scaremongering going on, but maybe a bit of scaremongering is what we need to shape up a little bit. Thank you very much for watching. Make sure you follow me on Instagram, follow the Facebook as well, and subscribe to the channel for more Tenerife videos, updates and things. For now, stride on, stay safe, and see you in the next update. Stride on, guys.